it on?
Yeah, it's rolling.
I don't see a little red light. I don't think it's on.
Yeah, dude, it's rolling.
Well, how long have you been a cameraman? Because my cousin Matthews has a camera, and when it's recording, it has a little red light.
I've been a cameraman for 15 years, dude. I know it's filming.
15 years? Yeah, right. I don't believe that.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much the leader of the church. And, you know, second to God, of course. But, you know, I understand people get a little jealous and whatnot. I am the head honcho. But, you know, they just get jealous of my superiority. What can I say? You know, I understand that completely. I mean, Jesus did ask me to watch over his sheep. And my name does mean the rock. Did forget about that. That's pretty cool. You know, he is my favorite actor, by the way.
We were a fairly okay group of guys. Some of us better than the others. I don't want to mention any names, but Peter.
So, before I started following Jesus, I was starting a band with my friends Bartholomew and Thaddeus. Barty was okay. He played the bass, but I think he was holding us back. We were getting pretty good, though. We were starting to get shows in Cadden and Bethlehem, and our agent was so close to getting us a gig in Garden of Eden. But I guess there were some technicalities, something with an angel and a flaming sword or something.
The band idea wasn't a very good idea because I was the drummer, and back in the first century, all we had were rocks to bang together, and, well, that's not the most pleasant sound in the world.
Before I was a disciple, I collected taxes, and people didn't exactly like me. Now, Zacchaeus and I were wee little men, and wee little men were we. We climbed up in a sycamore tree to see what we could see.
I feel pretty important, you know? Writing the most important verse in the Bible, John 3:16. I mean, come on. Who doesn't know that verse? I mean, the only verse that could really be that one is Genesis 1:1. But John 1:1 is the same thing, except it elaborates. Genesis 1:1 gives you the beginning, but John 1:1, it gives you the beginning and the word. I want to go a little bit more in depth with this, just so you can figure it out with this thing right here. Let's see.
You know what really ticks me off? People don't know who the heck I am. They always get me confused with James, son of Zebedee. Zebedee. No, people come up to me and they're like, "Hey there, James, son of Zebedee." And I'm like, "No, try more like James, son of Alphaeus." Ay, caramba.
Well, about myself.
I think I have the coolest name out of the 12. I mean, really? Simon the Zealot?
That's Zealot.
Whatever. Anyway, I was kind of a punk as a kid. I got in a lot of fights at the synagogues, mostly with the Roman jerks. When I joined the other 11, I expected a little more action. Unfortunately, I didn't get too much. But when Jesus flipped all the tables over, that was one of the best days of our ministry. It was crunk.
You know what gets me angry? In the Bible, it never talks about how many meals I had to cook. I mean, think about it. Look at Jesus. He duplicated all these fish. Who do you think had to cook them? Me. Me. But you know what? No, I don't get credit for that because I'm not Jesus. For 5,000 people, I had to cook that much? Come on, you try it.
Nobody really understands me. I'm just one of those people that, like, you know, sit alone in a corner in a cafe, you know, drinking my really expensive caffeinated coffee, and I write in my black, dark, leather notebook.
I think Peter was the stupidest disciple of them all.
I like to think of myself as the wisest of all the disciples.
He just shot his stupid little mouth off every 5 seconds. I'll stand by you, Jesus, no matter what. Yeah, right. You denied him.
It was also the most faithful, loyal, and dependable.
Give me a break.
You know, disciples, they don't have much time to decide what they like, so what they decided they wanted to eat was bread, fish, and wine. But you know, I didn't like that, because you know what? I had to cook it. So I'm like, "Hey guys, let's try the John the Baptist diet." They're like, "Okay." And then guess what? Matthew turns out to be allergic to locust. What's that?
People call me Doubting Thomas. Now, I don't like that because I'm not exactly doubtful. I'm more cautious, you know, more careful. You know, I just don't jump into things. I use my brain. Unlike Peter, on the other hand.
I was quick to follow Jesus. You know, I did walk on water.
And then he fell.
What exactly do you want me to talk about? I mean, a lot of things went on in those 3 years. Like one time, we kind of, well, you know, I can't seem to.
I always thought Jesus was going to lead us into war. Like, blow up Rome or something. He was supposed to be our savior, but his tactics were a little weak. Like love and peace. You're not going to defeat Rome with a bunch of bunnies and flowers.
Sometimes on those great profound days, I'd pull out my lyre and strum such fluid, melodious chords of thought and hopefulness. I wrote lyrics that made you think about Jesus and life and stuff.
Now, John 11:13 says, "However, Jesus spoke of his death, but they thought he was speaking about taking rest and sleep." I mean, come on. I'm the only one that understood exactly what he meant. I have just that astute understanding of everything that goes on here. This is great. I love it.
For some reason, Judas kept all the money. I never really understood that. I mean, I was a tax collector. I had a career in keeping money. I don't know, maybe they thought I would steal it all. But then they go and give it to Judas. I mean, Satan possessed a man's soul. What the heck were they thinking? It's just like
I like counting. I'm glad Jesus gave me that job. It's just, you know, fun to pick up the money and go 1, 2, 3.
Well, that one time in Galilee, Jesus did that one thing, and yeah.
Jesus had all these awesome powers. It'd have been awesome if he just annihilated Rome. Man, it'd have been so wicked if he just turned their water into wine. And then to poison.
Can I get a test?
Alright, calculate this, guys. Food for 13. 3 times a day, plus cooking supplies. That's a lot of money. And you know what? That's my life. Calculating, cooking, and feeding. That's about it.
8, 9, 10.
We weren't exactly working class. We were more like followers. And with Judas being so slow at counting.
14. 15.
Ever since Jesus renamed me, I felt so cool. I mean, for a while there were 2 Simons, but you know, the other one, that zealot guy, he just was so much smarter than him. He just didn't have it all together like I did. Jesus had something really better for me.
Oh sure, Peter gets a new name. No one wants to confuse the Simons. What about the Jameses?
No one really cared about James A.
The band eventually ended up breaking up sometime after Jesus disappeared into the sky. And I think what really ruined our chances was when Andrew wrote the song, "I'm a Friend of God."
I'm a friend of God. I'm a friend of God. It was probably the most defining moment in my musical career.
When Jesus resurrected, I was just making sure it was him. I mean, anyone could have dressed up and been like, "Hey, I'm Jesus," and everyone would be like, "Yay, Jesus is back." But, you know, I need a little bit of proof.
So then Satan started talking to me and saying bad stuff about Jesus and the other 11 disciples.
And Judas betrayed Jesus, and well, that's not cool. In fact, that's just uncool.
So I make this little meal for the Last Supper, and it's like the most important thing I ever did. And then Jesus, out of nowhere, comes out insulting the bread and wine. And you know what? I can't eat bread anymore without thinking about cannibalism. It's gross.
Well, I guess what I'm really trying to say is, yeah.
Peter just doesn't get it.
Nothing slips by me.
The rock? More like the really soft grain of sand.
Who are we? We're the 12 disciples. Of course, there's me. There's James Z and Andrew and Thaddeus, Matthew, John, and of course there's also Thomas and Philip and Bartholomew, Simon the Zealot, and of course Judas.
Whoa, dude. That was only 11.
And James, son of Alphaeus!
Who was that other guy?
Did you turn the camera off? The little red lights still going. Are you sure you know how to do this, man? Hello, do you know how to work a camera?